Hello, welcome to the American Backpacker. Today's video is going to be an update video on a product review I did about 3 years ago. And that product review was on the Flir TK Scout Thermal Imager. Now I'm going to talk to you about my experiences with this unit to give you more information to educate you on whether or not it's a unit that you want to purchase. Now what is a thermal imager? A thermal imager is a unit that picks up on heat signatures given off by objects. So, an individual's body heat, an animal's body heat, a rock that's been out in the sun all day, etc. A thermal imager needs no ambient light than a night vision optic does. So in other words, this can be used in total darkness, whereas a night vision optic needs some sort of ambient light or an IR light for it to function or work well. That's one of the reasons why I like carrying a thermal imager. Now, 4 years ago, Flir came out with this particular unit, and they came out with this unit for those individuals wanting a thermal imager at a reasonable price. Now, when I say reasonable, based on other costs of other thermal imagers, this unit runs about $599, and in some places you might be able to get it for less than $600, between $500 and $600, depending on the retailer online. But other thermal imagers would run into the thousands. So when they came out with this, they designed it for the outdoor individual, and it is expensive. It's expensive for me, but it's reasonable based on other units that run into the thousands of dollars. And I don't know of any other unit at this price point. I know the Pulsar makes thermal imagers, but they're way up there. So again, when they designed it for kind of the budget-minded individual who was looking to purchase a thermal imager. So the specs on this particular unit: it's about 6 ounces, so it's very lightweight. You can put it in your pocket, your backpack. You don't need a case for it. That's nice. I mean, you don't take it out of a case, put it in the case. It has a rubberized coating around it, which makes it easy to grab when it's wet or you're in a wet environment, if we have wet hands, etc. Very durable. Again, you can throw it in your backpack, your pocket. It's submersible, so you can submerge it. Not that you really want to, but if you're out in a wet environment or climate, it will not damage the unit. The unit has an internal battery that you can recharge. I love that. So individuals, some people have commented that they want something they can change the batteries with. I like something that I can charge in the wilderness area. I bring a solar panel with me. I'm able to hook it up to a solar panel and charge it so I can stay out there indefinitely and use this unit indefinitely. So it has that internal battery that you can recharge. It has 8 color palettes. So you can use it in different types of environments. The unit itself takes or stores, I should say, video and photos, and that's a nice thing to have. So if you're out there and you do a video, and I'm going to show you one here in a minute that I did on my last trip over in Colorado, it allows you to store the video on the particular unit, as well as photos, and then you can bring it back and then you can examine it further. So I think that's great. That's just fantastic for you to be able to do that. And a lot of other more expensive units, you're unable to do that. You're paying thousands of dollars, but you can't store the video in here. Applications. This particular unit can be used for various applications. You use it for wilderness backpacking, which is what I use it for. You can use it for camping, fishing, hunting, boating. You can use it around your house for home security. You might even utilize it for work if you need to do certain things there. So it provides different applications for use. And again, you can use it even in the house. Some people use it for drywall. If they want to determine if the drywall behind it is wet, damp, etc. I mean, there's just a whole slew of things you can utilize this particular unit for. So if you purchase it for the $600, it doesn't necessarily have to be for wilderness backpacking. You can take it with you, again, because it's very lightweight and portable. So let me show you that video that I did in the 1 Minute Wilderness. and it's of our base camp at nighttime. And what's interesting in the video is that there's some animals around the perimeter of our base camp that I had no clue were there until I fired up this unit. And that was a nice thing about it, because why I carry this out in the wilderness area is because it allows me to view the base camp at nighttime to see what's around it. So here's that video. Here's my Flir video of my base camp in the Waminuche Wilderness area. I'm using the Insta Alert color palette, which shows heat as red or yellow. Now you saw the two tents there in black, and I'm kind of scanning the perimeter of the base camp. There's a creek there in the center of the screen, and then I come across an animal there. You can see it emanating in orange and red. It's a large animal, I'm not sure exactly what it is, and there's 2 or 3 others behind it. I scan back to the right, you see the tents there, the rock outcropping, and in the center of the screen there you see 2 objects in the backdrop there. It's not 1 but 2, and those are animals. And then I kind of scan to the right to see if there's anything else in the perimeter. And you can see some of the trees there, etc. And I come back to that 1 object, or those 2 animals there in the backdrop. And then I come back to the creek area, and I will look again at that 1 animal that's at the creek there, probably getting some water, with the 2 or 3 others behind it. And you can see in the video that the heat signature is given off by the tent. Of course, the animals, the rocks in the background were very visible, so it gave you a good image at nighttime. Now, the other good thing about a thermal imager versus a night vision optic or a night optic is that you can use it during the daytime because it picks up on heat signatures. So if you're going in an area and there's some bush up ahead and there's something moving in the bush, you can take this out, fire it up, and maybe get a heat signature of what's in that, that bush there to find out what it is, what kind of animal, etc. So that's also a nice function or use of this particular unit. So the drawbacks, there's 2 negatives to this unit that I can see. The first is going to be what we talked about earlier, which is the price point. It's expensive. I mean, I'm not going to say that it's cheap, but it's affordable. And for what I'm using it for, especially if you're a solo backpacker, it's a great piece of equipment to have with you, especially at nighttime. The second negative is going to be the range on this. Now, this unit is spec'd out at 100 yards, so it says that you can identify objects up to 100 yards. In my experience, it's more between 50 to 75 yards. Now, this unit will go past 100 yards in terms of identifying heat signatures, but you won't be able to readily identify what you're looking at. So I found that between 50 and 75 yards is kind of the max on this particular unit in terms of identifying, is it a deer, is it a bear, is it a pig? I mean, it's a lot less than the 100 yards, but it will go up to and past 100 yards in terms of picking up heat signatures. So you'll be able to see that there is something out there. You just won't be able to identify it after 100 yards. But I would kind of keep it more between 50 and 75. So those are the 2 kind of negatives I look at the unit. But for what it offers in terms of the functions and the features, I'll tell you, it's worth the money to me. And there was a comment made on my last video that I did on this. I'm not sure if it was a field test. And someone said, oh yeah, it's expensive and the price will come down in a few years. Well, it's been 3 years and the price really hasn't come down. But the individual made a comment that, oh, I'd probably sell it for a cheaper price, so just wait till I sell it. Well, guy, guess what? Haven't sold it. I'm not going to sell it. It's a great unit, and I definitely highly recommend that if you're looking to get something to enhance your security in a wilderness area, especially in your base camp, this is the unit to purchase. Again, there's other units out there, but you're going to be paying thousands of dollars for them. So I hope I gave you some good insight and information on this unit, or added to my other 2 videos. I want to kind of do this update video because the first one I did was kind of slow and mundane, and I just wanted to kind of follow up and let you know that my experience with this unit has been great. and I highly recommend it, and I think it's definitely worth the cost, especially when it comes to your safety. Hey, this is Andy with the American Backpacker. Stay tuned for more videos on wilderness backpacking and survival. And if you have any more comments or questions, post them here and I'll get back to you with an answer. This is Andy. Thank you for watching.